You know, if people would just go to their city councils, their county commissioners, their state houses, confront them, speak out, go to public events, call into talk radio, call Congress, go and confront the land grabbers, go and confront the CPS, stand up for your rights, demonstrate, rally so they can't ban it, go to public events, confront globalists. I mean, Al Gore is canceling much of his speaking tours because everywhere he goes, he's being protested, and that's making it in the newspaper, and he looks bad. These people don't have total control. So many people that serve the system serve it because they think we're kooks, because they were told we were kooks by the media, but now because of people 20, 30, 40 years ago telling the truth, everybody heard the truth. So now that it's been proven to be the truth, people are ready to wake up. What is it that caller can't understand about that, Bob? He isn't rejoicing at all the successes we're having. He isn't rejoicing at the enemy in retreat on multi fronts. Every time we fight, we win. But how do we get the people to stand up, Bob?
By telling them the truth and continuing to cite all of the instances that you brought up today about cap and trade and the scandal in ClimateGate and the power of what's going on in Congress with the Federal Reserve and the imminent passage of Ron Paul's 1207 and the 604 in the Senate. All these are very positive things. We're showing people that all the things that they suspected are really going on. And the reason we couldn't find out is everything is behind closed doors. You know, Alex and you and I, we back into a lot of things because we can't get the information sometimes. And you put the puzzle together, and all of a sudden you've discovered, well, that's what they're doing. And most people don't want to bother to do that.
And Bob,
they'd rather throw their hands in the air and live in an internment camp. And evidently that's what that fellow would like to do.
And on top of that, we're going to come back and take calls, I promise, for John, Alan, Mike, Scott, and others. We get internal congressional reports. We get internal ADL reports. We get internal reports from the big think tanks. And look at all these emails from the top UN climate fraudsters. They're pulling their hair out going, they're exposing us. How do we stop them? They may beat us. They're behind the scenes. They're just, they're everywhere. They're waking up to us. Out in the public, they're like, we're winning. Everything's fine, because they understand they've got to put that good face on their fraud. But when we come out and say we're starting to win, that's real. Folks, they're scared to death of us. Bob?
And that's a fact.
And that's a fact. I am just...
It is. I know these people. I've debated them just like you have. And they don't want to talk about anything on the plane that we want to talk about. There's no open discussion. I mean, Ron Paul, for the first time in the last couple of weeks, got on major television, CNBC and things like that. They're now recognizing that the feeling of the disenchantment by the public is so great that they have to use more propaganda and face up to the fact that there is opposition, just like the gentleman who called in. He's in opposition to trying to win, evidently. And these people, they want to hold on to what they've got, this power, this enormous amount of money, the control,
well, Bob, there's also a lot of people that expect we're going to lose and can't believe anything ever positive is going to happen. But the globalists are just criminals, ladies and gentlemen. All right, going back to your calls, my final point on the loser spirit that some people still have out there, the sense of defeatism. The globalists are slick criminals, and they're good at feeding on people that don't have a lot of information, people that are lazy, people that are weak, people that go along to get along, people that buy into slick corporate hype. But the globalists are threatened by strong, focused men and women that know the truth and will warn the people. And now, every time we stand up, we win. The problem is we can't get people to stand up. People don't see themselves as leaders. I get thousands of emails every month saying, oh, we're glad you're there doing the job. No, folks, I'm just one person in this fight. That's what's so beautiful about We Are Change and the Tea Parties and other groups that are out confronting Gore and all these other globalists everywhere they go. People should be confronting Schwarzenegger everywhere he goes. They should be confronting all these other climate change fraudsters like Newt Gingrich. It's on both parties. And the left-right paradigm where they divide us into two parties and make us fight with each other and make us think the power structure ends with the president, that mirage is coming crashing down right now. So the media plays up these gate crashers for a week and a half who went to the White House and got into that party to make it look like, oh, getting into the party is the greatest thing in the world. Oh, getting to meet with the president, meeting with the God. The establishment, I told you, would build up Obama and then destroy him and then bring in somebody new and build him up and destroy them. It's theater. Let's go to phone calls here. John in Texas, you're on the air with Bob Chapman of the internationalforecaster.com. Go ahead, John.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
Bob?
Yes, sir.
One time I think you said that you knew Leon DeGrelle.
Very well.
Could you explain a little bit about him? I read his book, Campaign in Russia, and the guy was really a brave soldier. Really, it's really an excellent book on the war on the Eastern Front. And I guess he said he told you a few things about World War II history and post-war Europe. I wonder if you could elaborate a bit on that.
Well, I don't think this is the right time to do it, but Leon was a very well-read gentleman. He was an attorney. He was the head of the Rexist Party in Belgium. He was a reporter. He was an eloquent speaker, although he never learned English. And we always had to converse in French or in German. And his exploits during the Second World War as a soldier were second to none in any army. And he was a survivor, and he was a very nice man.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bob.
All right. Let's go ahead and talk to Alan in Kentucky. Alan, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for opening my eyes to so much. And I have so much anger at these people because I've had a very good life. I'm in my 60s, and I appreciate everything that this country has done and given to me, but I'm afraid that my children and my grandchildren are not going to have it as well as I did. So I'm one of these old fighters in this info war, Alex. I've bought many of your movies. I've made copies of them, and I want to tell those people out there who have this defeatist attitude, it's not going to happen. Things are going to probably get tougher than they are. I'm very scared, a little bit afraid now that as we push the New World Order into a corner, and I think we have pushed them into a corner, that they are going to become more desperate.
But at least it's on our terms. How many years have I explained that when they announce their plan, there'd be a huge awakening, and it's not going to be all roses for these people, but at least we don't just lay here and let them carry it out the way they want. We make them escalate. We make them fight. We make them come out in the open.
And because of you, Alex, we know their game plan. We know what they have in their repertoire. We know what the possibilities are, and we can prepare for that. And I do have one question that I'd like to get Bob's take on, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
And all my life I've paid my taxes, and I've never cheated on my taxes, and yet I'm feeling very conflicted about that right now, since I know exactly where that money is going. And I think a lot of Americans are coming to that same conclusion. And I'm not advocating this to anybody.
No, but record numbers are not paying now because they know, as Ronald Reagan's commission showed in 1981, not one red cent of your income tax money goes to run the country. It all goes to the private banks. Go ahead.
What would happen if a large number of us came to that same conclusion? That's what I'd like to know.
Bob?
I think historically, about 32% of people who own their own small businesses do not file at all. And that figure, I understand, has now risen to 38%. And if this thing keeps on going the way it's going, it's probably going to go up to 60 or 70%. And these people aren't captive because they own their own businesses. But there is a groundswell of people who are saying, no, I'm not going to do that anymore, and I'm not going to pay them, and there's millions of us. And so if I get caught and I have to go up against the government, well, I'm willing to do that. And that's what's happening, and I can understand why you're questioning what's going on, and it's a good time to do it. I mean, the people who work in companies, they don't have that luxury. They receive a paycheck and they take everything out and then they give you what's left. But private individuals who have their own companies, they're in a different situation.
Yeah, I appreciate your call. Let me make this point. That's your decision to make. People are going, well, how do they fund the government if it isn't the income tax? It's all the hundreds of other taxes. And when you read what the UN says and you read what the federal government has stated, they want a global carbon tax system that's going to be on an ID card with your carbon credits. And when those run out, more taxes will kick in, not just taxes on each item that's passed on through the manufacturing process or through transportation and at all the other points of all these taxes that are added. But they want it so they can track what you're buying, what you're doing. And the system under Homeland Security, and they've stated this, will be you won't have a job. You won't get on a plane. You won't buy a gun. You won't be able to buy anything unless you're in good terms with the federal government. That's what the New World Order cashless society is all about.